Welcome back to the National Yacht Club. Today we're going to be making Cumberland sauce. The ingredients are 200 grams of red currant jelly that has been warmed and liquidized without, very importantly, without being whisked, because you don't want to mix air into it because the air bubbles will stay. The seasoning ingredients are butter, garlic, you can use a finely chopped shallot as well, dried English mustard, freshly chopped ginger, whole cloves, freshly crushed black pepper, and the rind and the juice of an orange and a lemon. Orange, lemon, and here is the juice of a half an orange and a half a lemon. Traditionally, the Cumberland sauce represented the most expensive ingredients that you could get on the Victorian menu. The pepper, the cloves, the ginger from China. The port was a little bit risque because it was from Portugal, and the British and the Portuguese were not talking at the time. So, and also that the oranges and lemons would have been very often from the south of Spain, which again they weren't talking to. So the whole thing was a little bit risque. We start off with a preheated pot, and this is very, very quick cooking time that we're doing here. We have just a tiny bit of butter, you see here, and that goes in there. That starts cooking, and we throw in our garlic. Just a little bit of fresh, roughly chopped garlic. It doesn't have to be fine at all, because all of these things are going to be strained out. So just beginning to sizzle. That's all I wanted to do. And then I put in the ginger, and then the dried English mustard, and the cloves, and the black pepper. Keep it moving. Keep it moving around so that it doesn't burn. You're more just scalding it, scorching it to get some heat into it. And then red currant jelly. See, it's a liquid red currant jelly. Just bringing it up to 82 degrees. Definitely no more than that. This is not something that you boil. You're just incorporating the ingredients, making sure that everything is a clear liquid. You see that? See, there's no lumps in it. I'm making as small a quantity as I feel comfortable with. I would normally make this in a much larger batch, but you see, it's actually a lot easier to incorporate the whole thing into a liquid before I go any further. I'm going to put in some fine ruby port into this, maybe 2 tablespoons. And I'm turning off the heat altogether, because all of the perfume flavors that I'm putting into it are in here already. Now, people do like to do variations on it. Some people put mustard in, some people put cinnamon in. You can put bay leaf into it as well, or juniper berries. You know, just think of anything Victorian, classically Victorian. This is the juice of a half a lemon and a half an orange. And looking at my quantities there, I'm not even using all of it, because this is, I think the quantities that we're using here, that's enough to take what was a jelly. You want it to be a sauce with the consistency of a sauce. Anxious about the quantities that I'm putting in there. Now, you can have it a little bit too runny, you can get away with it, but it's nice to have a happy medium. And now I've just passed that through a chinoise. That's what it looks like in the container. Now, in an ideal world, I would have actually left that garnish in there, in the pot, in order to infuse the flavors more, because you really are trying to, because it's an infusion, or if you like a tisane, you're making a tea with these ingredients. And you want it to incorporate, it's like making perfume. You want to incorporate those flavors into it into the jelly and then loosen it with between the port and the fruit juices to a point where you get like a pourable sauce. This is one I prepared earlier, and that is the consistency that I'm looking for. So to give you an example of your current and your chilled, this is the current. This is when it's room temperature or slightly above. You want to give it that ruby texture. And then you serve that with pate or a game terrine. You could serve it even with quince. Accompany it with quince, with with cheese. Membrillo is another name for it. So that is your Cumberland sauce. And if the camera wants to follow me, I'm going to do some melba toast. I'm going to put this under a grill, the toast under the grill, and make toast. When you're doing this at home, you can just make toast in a toaster. That's fine. Just make regular toast in a regular toaster and you're absolutely grand. But that's only the first stage. Once you've gotten to the point of making your toast, then you're going to cut the crusts off first, and then you're going to slice the toast in half horizontally and pull it apart. And that's the great mystery as to why and how melba toast is so wafer thin. Yeah, you want melba toast to be thin. So I'm going to take the crust off it. I'm going to put it on a tray, in this case this one, put it back under the grill just for even less time than it would take to make the toast. It will actually be lower than what I would normally have on the grill. I'd have it at the bottom shelf on the grill, so that literally you're just drying it out rather than secondly toasting it. I think we're about ready now. We have our toasty toast right there. And take the crust off. Yeah, I wouldn't try stacking them high because you'll just squish them down. Get your knife, don't cut yourself, but just cut your toast horizontally. Like that. Right. That's all I'm going to use the knife for. And then on my tray, I'm going to put it back under the grill for 2 to 3 minutes. The bottom shelf of the grill for 2 to 3 minutes. And then we're going to serve it with pate foie gras, with Cumberland sauce and melba toast. We have all of the ingredients for melba toast. The pate foie gras we've already made. It should be available to you. The Cumberland sauce we've already made. That should be available to you. And now we are making the melba toast. Pate is one of the things that was handed down from the Victorians and the Edwardians because they wanted to show off. It was just the most show-off thing that they could do. The pate because it represented the fat of the land and a level of sophistication that pretty much anybody could do if they knew the simple recipe, but yet look impressive because it looks like something that's very difficult to do, whereas in actual fact, if you watch the recipe of making the pate, it's not that complicated. Now here, we're almost done, but just you see this one here, that's pretty much done. Just the rest of them, I'd like to get a little bit more brown on them. And then the Cumberland sauce incorporated, well, first of all, that it was terribly British because it used black currant jelly. And black currants, as we all know, is one of the more commonly and easily produced fruits in the British Isles. But then it's flavoured with the more exotic and expensive and hard to get other ingredients like cloves from Madagascar, also whole black pepper from Madagascar, ginger from China, oranges and lemons from Spain, with whom they were constantly at war, the Brits, and also then port, which was from largely Portugal, with whom they were not great friends either. Turn off my grill. That's my Melba toast. It's good enough to eat and share with your pâté maison. So you have your pour a little bit more sauce on that. That's my Melba toast, Cumberland sauce, and pâté foie gras. Yum!